I guess I was traumatized by that, so I completely forgot English. It's just like any other work, like it's a repetition. Repetition makes it perfect, you know? There are magical moments, but it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's in the movies. I remember when Spotify came, my professors would tell me like it was a disaster. I'm just a songwriter who wants to make great music. That's it. It's not that complicated. I just want to be cool. This might sound a little too cliche, but just be yourself. So thanks for having me here, Dive Studios. I go by the name of Vince. I'm a singer-songwriter under the Black Label. I've worked with artists like Blackpink, Big Bang, Chunsomi, Winner, Sunmi, to name a few, as a producer. And also I've released music of my own under my own name recently, so go check that out.
While looking into your information for this interview, I came across something very interesting, and especially to Korean fans, you're renowned for a content series with Tanaka, and it was so enjoyable and I couldn't stop laughing. So could you please tell me how that happened?
So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's renowned, but I did have a mini series with Tanaka where I made a song for him, or R&B song for him.
Right.
And I also sang on it together.
Yeah, it's 지명해줘요, right?
Yeah. It's Choose Me. Choose Me, the English song. The English title of it is Choose Me. And I mean, it's just an homage to the 90s R&B, which I grew up with, like Boyz II Men and stuff, Brian McKnight. And it's just, so like, one of my closest producers at our label, Kush, he had a relationship with Tanaka even before he blew up. So when he blew up, he hit him up saying like, "Yo, I got this guy Vince. He can make a song for you, and we can make a series out of it." And he was down to do it. And I've always wanted to do like a Boyz II Men sound.
Yeah.
But you can't always find the occasion where you can do that. But I felt like maybe with some comedy, you could do it in an edgy way. So we did it, and I'm glad what we came up with. I hope you liked it.
I truly liked it, enjoyed it. Yes, and were there any challenges or memorable moments during the shooting? Because it's five episodes,
five
right?
episodes, yeah. And I mean, the amount of support that I got within that series was crazy. Like Taeyang Hyung also cameoed, Chunsomi cameoed, and like what was most impressive was like, since he's a comedian, Tanaka, I didn't expect him to be that passionate about recording and making music, but he was very involved. Like he came through whenever I needed him to, and re-recorded until he got it perfect. So it was a very fun experience. Yeah,
right.
Very passionate musician.
Yeah, and when I saw your picture on the internet, I got an impression of someone who's very rational and level-headed, like a bad boy. But after watching several clips that you were in, and I realized that I was wrong. You are a very warm-hearted man, and you're smiling. And that makes me very comfortable. So do you get that a lot? Different images.
In the photos and the videos, I do try to look a little more cold, I guess, a little more bad boy. And I do get that a lot. Like people, the first impression they get from the videos and the photos is like they think I might be a little like scary and cold, but I mean, I like to be that way, but I guess I'm not. Yeah.
Born to be warm. And do you have any prejudices about you that maybe make you laugh? Or
here's the thing, I've had this hair for like a few years now, so especially in this area we're in E-Town right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people at night during the weekends, they see a guy with the buzz cut. They all think it's me.
Yeah. Buzz cut and tall.
Yeah, buzz cut and tall and tattoo.
Yeah.
They
Yo,
think it's
Vince,
me.
I saw you, man.
Yeah, people tell me they saw me during the weekend, but I was home the whole weekend.
So funny.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's the meaning of your name, Vince? Because I already know the behind the story, but for the one who do not know the meaning of your name, Vince, because before this you used your different stage name.
Right. I used to go by the name of Joe Ree, which is my actual name. And after I joined the Black Label, I just wanted to like newly brand myself and start clean from the clean state. So there's not really much of a meaning to the name itself, but we just chose like a cool sounding English first name and just ran with it. Yeah. Also, the problem with Joe Ree was there's a famous snack that's called joripong. and
right.
Yeah, a lot of people found the name a little too cute and funny. Yeah.
Because you're the guy who wants to be cool.
Yeah.
Bad guy image, right?
So we had to find another name that could like match my cool.
Yeah, Vince sounds like, 찰떡궁합, right? Cool. So, when I try to look into your backgrounds and everything, but it was pretty hard for me to do. So maybe start from the beginning. Like, could you please tell me about your childhood? Like, it's just a sudden, direct random question, but
So I was born in the States. I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was there until I was 7. Came back here. Had gone to Korean elementary school, and then I went to a foreign school out here until high school, and then I moved back to New York for college, and then I graduated, and then I came back here to Korea. So I've spent like half of my life in the States, half of my life in Korea, and
it's not. It's not. I don't know if it's okay to say, but it's not typical, right?
It's not typical.
Were there any, identity issues or like, am I Korean or am I American or anything like that?
When I was younger, there definitely was, because when I was in the States, I didn't feel American enough.
Yeah.
But when I was in Korea, I felt like I'm too American. So like, it was hard for me to realize that it's okay to be this Korean American guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier now with like the internet and the world is so much closer together. It's easier for me to be myself, where I'm like completely bilingual.
Yeah.
And like I hang out with American friends and Korean friends. So, but back then it was harder, because in America I felt I'm too Korean. Here I felt like I'm too American.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I still remember in elementary school.
Yeah.
I couldn't pronounce certain Korean words the right way because I had the American intonation.
Yeah.
And I used to get made fun of a lot for that. Like I still remember, I couldn't say the word 신문지.
신문지?
Yeah, I would say like 신문지. And like
really?
kids would like make so much fun of it. Yeah.
Did you tell your mom or dad that?
No, I never did, but one thing that did happen is, so I guess I was traumatized by that. So I completely forgot English for like a few years after that. Yeah, completely unlearned English.
Really?
So I had like, I still remember I had a 0 on my English exam in my elementary school. And my mom was shocked because I'm American. Like, you got a 0. You can't even spell an apple. Yeah.
Maybe you were really literally traumatized by the incident. Then you are now a music producer and a solo artist. So I want to ask, do you remember the very first song that had an impact on your younger days?
The very first song?
Yeah.
So I was born in Pittsburgh. Both my parents were studying there, and back then in Pennsylvania, Boyz II Men was one of the hottest thing, and they're from Philly. which is also in Pennsylvania. So I still remember having the first album of the CD from Boyz II Men, and my mom used to play it all the time.
Wow.
As Boyz II Men, Luther Vandross, Mariah Carey, those 3 records, they were played all the time. And I guess that influenced me a lot. Because I just know all those songs by heart because my mom used to play them all the time. Yeah.
Wow. That reminds me of Dance With My Father.
Dance With My Father.
Luther Vandross, right?
That's
a beautiful song, right?
Yeah.
So you know how to play the piano, right?
A little bit.
Yeah, because every clip that you were in, I saw you play the piano. So I thought, before we met, I thought you were born and raised in Korea, right?
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, how did you learn how to play the piano? Because in Korea, usually kids go to, have a piano lesson by their parents, right? Right, hagwon. So in the States, maybe it's a little bit different.
I do remember when I was 5 or 6, I did have lessons here and there, but only for a few months, I think. Nothing that lasted. Back then, I really wanted to learn cello because one of my closest friends was playing cello, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And Yo-Yo Ma, Yo-Yo Ma was big back then
specialist,
too.
Right?
Yeah.
I love him a lot.
Yes, but I guess I asked my mom later, a couple of years ago, Mom, why did you never teach me a cello? I wanted to learn cello so much, and I guess she was back then we were too poor to get a cello and get a lesson.
Cello is expensive, guys.
Yeah. But piano, I picked it up really late. I actually picked it up during college.
Oh.
Yeah. When I got into music school, that's when I started learning it.
Yeah.
So I'm I wouldn't say I'm great at it, but I play enough to make songs with it. Yeah.
That means you're great enough, right?
It was tough because I still remember, I think it was around my freshman or sophomore year, I came back to Korea for vacation, and I was I have to get better at piano. And I went to one of those hagwons out here in Korea.
Surrounded by elementary school kids.
By little kids.
Yeah.
And there's a whole program of I don't know how to say it in English, 체르니, Beethoven. Yeah. And I was doing the most basic 체르니. Ding, 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 ding. And this 6-7-year-old kids would come up to me and ask, Beethoven 몇 초요? It was these kids were far better than me. Yeah.
One of the most coolest looking guy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
That was an experience.
Yeah. Also, you once mentioned that you were influenced by R&B and hip-hop, but especially by Notorious B.I.G. Right? As a person who enjoyed Tupac's one, so what was so special about Biggie?
Tupac versus Biggie.
Yeah.
Always.
The West versus
I'm a Biggie guy. I'm going to tell it straight up. Here's the thing. I was born in Pennsylvania, went to college in New York, so I say I'm an East Coast guy.
Yeah.
And I say Seoul is very much like New York. So I feel like a city guy. And when I usually tell people I'm from New York because New York is the America that I remember the most because I spent my adolescent years there. And Biggie, I just thought, when I heard his album, the way he delivered his flow and the way he uses his voice to make I don't know, the way he freestyles everything. I just thought it was something genius.
Right.
Whereas Tupac, you feel more emotions. But for me, the art of rapping shines a little more with Biggie. Yeah.
So that's why one of your treasures is Biggie's, I don't know, album?
Yeah. I have his first album, LP. I have it on my wall with a poster. Yeah, I do.
So have you changed your lifestyle or fashion just because, did you like Biggie and the hip hop culture?
Yeah, it started out with Biggie, and then obviously I'm just a huge fan of hip hop. Yeah. So that influenced me a whole lot. The way I dress myself, the way I even spend my money when I make money. The way I approach things. And even when I write music, no matter what genre it is, being like keeping it hip hop is always in the back of my mind. I feel like,
when I was young, like a middle school guy, I used to dress like Tupac. I tried like Tupac, try to wear like saggy pants and oversized t-shirts. And man, my mom,
I used to dress like 50 Cent.
50 Cent?
Yeah. I mean,
you did.
I hope there's no photos of it, but yeah, I was all about the baggy jeans, oversized jersey, oversized cap, fitted hat that's tilted like that. Yeah. It was crazy times back then.
Other than music, was there anything that influenced you?
So, what's crazy is music was number one all the time. But as I went to middle school and high school, I also got into playing basketball. I played for the basketball team in my high school. And that was like number 2 priority for me at the moment. And a lot of that, like being in a competitive sport like basketball, also like made me who I am right now. Because when I write songs, when I'm making songs for other people, sometimes I feel like I'm trying to compete, like trying to beat out all the other producers, being competitive. And sometimes that helps. Sometimes it doesn't.
Right. Music always with you. So maybe that's why you decided to major in music business, right?
Right. So originally I was when I first got to college, I was majoring in economics. And then while I was there at school, I found out there's a major that's called music business. It was like a pretty good program at NYU, number 1 in the nation. Changed my major in my sophomore year. So from junior to senior year, I switched my major to music business.
Because I do not know much about music business. Could you please tell us about the details of the major?
So the best thing about music business program at NYU, I feel like, is the location and the connections. Because it's like located in New York, you get so many opportunities as in internships. You get to see a lot of insiders and business people there. And all your college professors are already in field. So you get to make connections through them as well. And like through that program, I got to intern at Universal Republic, Universal Publishing, Bad Boy Records, all those places. And you just get to see firsthand what music business is like and make connections. And some of the professors would straight up tell you, like, you gotta make connections here. That's all that matters. So, I mean, we did learn like how to split like publishing and all that. But I mean, you can learn that later. You don't have to learn that in college, I feel like.
It's connections, guys. Connections.
But one more thing was, one thing that I took away from that program is since it's in music school, you have to take a certain level of music theory classes and take up on instruments. That actually helped me a lot. Like as a producer, as a songwriter.
Because I was going to ask this question, like, how does the study actually influence, you when you make music? Like, do you find any correlation between your major and your current work?
So you do have to take a certain, until 2-3 years of music theory, where you have to be pretty proficient in music, as in reading the scores, writing the scores, how the chords work. And those things actually helped me a whole lot as a songwriter. Because, I mean, there are a lot of producers, songwriters out here, but there are not that many who are as proficient as I am in music language. It's hard to find those.
So
it has become one of my strengths.
It's cool. That's cool. So then when did you start making music? Maybe after the major or?
Making music started, I feel like, at a really young age. It started in my bedroom during like high school, where I had my laptop and there's a program called Fruity Loops. Pretty much learning myself how to make beats. And songwriting came naturally because at first I just wanted to make beats. I wanted to be just like Pharrell, make beats for people. But then I would have beats that I made, but nobody's writing to it. So someone had to write to it. I wrote to it. Somebody had to sing to it. I sang to it. And that's how I naturally learned how to like write and sing, I guess. Yeah.
When did you start, to upload your songs on SoundCloud? And what was the very first song that you made?
I think my very first song that I uploaded was in college. I think SoundCloud was big back then.
Yeah.
So I would just like record some stuff at home with a very cheap mic. I just wanted people to listen to it, so I would just upload it, and only my close friends would hear it. Yeah, and I had like a few of those on my SoundCloud. I mean, nothing really happened. Yeah, but funny thing is, when I came back to Korea, I through a mutual friend I met, 24, who I still work with. So even with him, when we made music together, the first thing that we did was put it on SoundCloud, and that pretty much started everything. And then we were like, how can we put this out a little more officially? And we somehow put it on the other music platforms, and through that, everything happened. So, yeah.
So what would you have done if there had not been SoundCloud? I mean, it was
Right, it would have been a lot different. I feel like having a platform like SoundCloud was definitely pivotal for me.
Yeah,
I think, because if not SoundCloud, I don't think I would have had any platform where I feel comfortable enough to put anything that I made and have enough confidence to do so. Because I was amateur back then. I don't want to hear the song that I uploaded on SoundCloud right now, but like doing so, that built up my confidence to maybe get my music out there more officially. Yeah.
Were there any comments
from my friends? I mean, friends would say nice things. Yeah. You only hear nice things when you're amateur.
You're good, man.
They don't tell you you're bad when you're amateur. They're like, oh, good. That sounds so nice. Yeah.
Cool. So, do you consider yourself a genius type or a hardworking and diligent type? Because, not many people, succeed in this music industry just by making music for fun, right? But you mentioned that you started making music just for fun. So,
I mean, I definitely wouldn't say I'm a genius type. I'd say I'm a very diligent type. Because I do spend almost every day in the studio. And what people don't understand is, rather than making music, I feel like I'm a better music listener, where I try to listen to a whole lot of music all the time. And I still enjoy it. And I feel like just that's a key to my process, where I'm knowledgeable in what I'm doing, because I've heard so much. I know, like, I feel like I can tell when the music side of that music's genuine as in like it sticks to its script as far as like how the genre is, like all that. So I try to listen to a lot of music. I just try to incorporate what interests me at the moment into my own music, and always in the studio, make this and that. And sometimes it works out. Yeah.
Oh, you're very humble and also very confident at the same time, right? So when did you realize that you are talented in making music? Because in the beginning, you said you were not that good.
I mean, I never thought I was talented. So like when I tell just like, let's say to a stranger that I make music, they think I'm doing this like magical thing where like I'm in the room, like, and there's an inspiration and I capture it magically. But I don't think that's the case. I'm just like, it's just like any other work. Like, it's a repetition. Repetition makes it perfect, you know? And at this point of my life, I've been involved with so many songs that I've gotten used to it. And I mean, when I was younger, it was a lot of like trying to copy what I like. But now I've done it enough to where I can just do whatever comfortably. Yeah. Yeah, but it's not as magical as people think.
Yeah.
But there are magical moments for sure. But I think the key is making sure you're in the studio to keep that magical accidents when it happens. Because if you're not in the studio, you might miss it. You might have the moment, but you might miss it. So I think just like being diligent is a very key factor.
Right.
But for me, I think I got very lucky because I got picked up by the Black Label at a really early stage in my career. And I just was blessed enough to be around talented people where I can just learn from them. Yeah. And just being around very creative people is also helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to say, like, you know, some people believe that, you know, creation process begins with just sudden spark of inspiration, but it's not, right? It's very dull and repetitive work, right?
I mean, it's different all the time, but mostly it's very repetitive. But there are sparks. I wouldn't say there are magical moments, but it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's in the movies, I feel like. Yeah. But there are definitely magical moments.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just make a whole song in under 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and people like it enough and it comes out, it becomes a hit. And that's usually the case for a lot of big songs.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah.
We never know, right?
You never know.
You never know. So I also wanted to add this, like, you know, Ernest Hemingway, he once, you know, compared his writing to a well. And, you know, instead of draining it completely and waiting, it's better to consistently draw water in measured amounts, because he stressed the importance of discipline. Every day, and every day. And, you know, has his own routine. And that's what he wanted to say, the importance of that. So what you just said was almost the same as Hemingway's saying. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, at first when I was younger, my approach was a lot more about like being natural, like being in the heat of the moment where whatever I get inspired by at the moment, I come up with is all there is to it. But I learned from my other producers at the label that like sometimes it takes diligence, like coming back to it, making changes to it, trying to make it more like 고민해 about how to make it more perfect, a better record. And that discipline, I had to learn here, I mean, at the Black Label. Yeah.
Got a message from Teddy, the producer, right? So could you please recall that moment?
So under my old name, Joe Ree, 24 and I were putting out music independently. And we had this one song, I think it was called Insane. Insane.
With 24?
24 and I produced it. I sang it.
Yeah.
I think Sani back then was featured on it.
Yeah.
And that was the last song that I put out as Joe Ree. And I think because of that Sani feature or something, I was put on Melon's first page that day when it first released.
Yeah.
So Teddy Young happened to come across the album cover of my single. He thought the album cover was interesting enough to just check the music out.
Yeah.
And thank God he liked it. So that night, Kush's Instagram, he like DM'd me telling me to come through to his studio. So that same night when the music came out, I went to Teddy's studio and we had a whole conversation. And after that, after that, I was with him. So, yeah.
How did you feel about it? You know, I once met a person that I truly look up to, and I was very nervous and also anxious, and I just wanted to express myself as much as I can. But how did you?
So back then I was younger. I was a little more confident and reckless. I was nervous, but not as nervous as I get now when I face Teddy Young. And he was very cool, very stylish. Like
he's iconic.
He's iconic.
He's iconic.
Yeah.
What did he tell you? Like,
thing was simple. He asked me about what type of music I'm into, what I want to do as an artist, and pretty much asked me how I grew up, and that was pretty much it. And he was like, so I don't remember the exact conversation, but he was like, that same night, he was like, so I'm going to start this label called The Black Label. You want to be a part of it? I said, yes.
Yeah,
that was it. That was it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Simple and quick.
It was very simple. Yeah.
No hesitation at all.
No hesitation.
Really?
Yeah.
Then didn't you have any regrets giving up on your academic achievement? Because you studied.
I did. Yeah. After graduating music business, I was trying to find what I could do using that majors. One of the things I came up with was maybe go to law school and get into music publishing, because I felt like IP, intellectual property, will be a big thing in the future. So maybe like doing laws regarding that might be very music related and make a lot of money. So I actually took the LSAT, which is the law school test. I was preparing to go to law school, but then after all that thing happened, I had to tell my parents, like, I have to give this music thing a try. Just give me a few years. And it's been 7 years now. Yeah.
What was their first reaction when you said?
I mean, their first reaction was, so when I wanted to do music back in high school, they were like, at least finish college. And when I finished college, they're like, all right, get ready for law school. So I was like, I made music. And then this opportunity came, which was too big. So I was like, all right, I'll give you a few years. Yeah.
Maybe they are supportive now, right?
They were pretty supportive, yeah. They're actually like very proud that I'm doing music, yeah.
When they drive, and they listen to your music, and this is my son's song, then must be proud of you.
Yeah.
So, this could be a little bit a tricky question, but I think there's no such a strict formula to achieve one's goals or dreams these days, but especially music, right? These days lines are getting blurry, and to become a creator is not, they do not follow any conventional, traditional steps, right? What's your take on that?
I mean, I'm all for that. And I think making music right now is easier than ever. And it's good and bad, I feel like, because now anybody can just pick up a laptop and make a music and make a piece of music. And so it's, I feel like, harder for producers, songwriters to stand out from all these musicians. And because it's so much easier to make, a lot of music end up sounding very similar, I feel like. And it's just has become very hard for all of us to stand out from each other. Yeah.
Because there's so many creators around.
So many tools that make it easy for you to make music now. You can just get like samples from, good sounding samples from Splice, put it on, turn the auto-tune on, sing a melody, make it rhyme,
Oh, I do not know the exact process of making music, but that must be tough.
Yeah.
But still, there are a lot of creators around the world, and Jesus.
So even for me, like as a producer, I do get demo beats and songs from a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's very hard for me too, because a lot of them are very, very good, but at the same time, they don't really stand out from each other. So it's hard for me to like judge them if they're special enough for me to like reach out to them. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right. Then after getting into Black Label, you must have had a hard time to prove yourself that you are a right person and you're a good producer. Weren't you anxious or?
So at first I signed with the Black Label as an artist, and then my first opportunity to write for other people I think was Taeyang. Because I'm such an R&B guy, he thought I would work well with Taeyang, and I never realized that, because I always thought of myself as an artist who makes a song, who makes songs for himself. But then it took that experience for me to realize that all this time I've been doing was producing songs. Although it was only for myself, but I could easily just make a transition to making it for other people as well. Which is ironic because I first started out making beats because I wanted to Pharrell, who's a hell of a producer for other people. So it all worked out. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't that hard for me to realize that I'm a songwriter and producer because the company helped me ease into that role where they hooked me up with other artists. They just put us in the studio to come up with something, and it was an easy process. Yeah.
So basically, you define yourself as an artist first, right? Then you're a producer.
Yeah. I mean, right now it's all at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
It's just I make music.
And when you make music, have you ever pushed yourself to the end, like to make the good result, outcome?
Sometimes, yeah. It may be in creative process where sometimes I have to go beyond my comfortable genres.
Yeah.
When it comes to especially K-pop music, like you have to dive into other genres.
Yeah.
So I gotta study other genres as well.
Yeah.
And also after creative process, recording process, sometimes is a lot of work trying to make the record sound perfect with the talent or the artist. And mixing is another art form that gets rarely talked about, and it's a very hard process sometimes. Yeah.
I still write, but I try to write my own stories because in Korea, if you want to be called as an author, then you have to win a contest held by newspaper companies or publishing companies. So I tried that for 5 years, but I couldn't. But I know it's really tough to make something new, right? So, music, it's also a different genre, but it must have same.
I mean, yeah.
Process.
Also, you gotta. I learned at the Black Label that you gotta approach it where you gotta look at it as bigger than music. Where I mean, especially K-pop.
Yeah.
Blackpink, Big Bang is a lot about visuals too. So when you make the music, you're not only hearing it with the sound. You're also imagining what you can see with it and how you can move to it.
Right.
And yeah, I had to learn that approach as well too. Yeah. Where back then it was all about just music sounding good.
But now you try to think visualize
what it could be.
Yeah. Some people say creators need to have a sense of lack. I mean, emotionally or mentally. I don't know.
I mean, it was hard. I mean, like I said, when I put songs on SoundCloud, it was all my friends being nice to me. Like, oh, you're good. You're nice. And then as soon as I made that transition with I started putting it out more officially on Melon, that's when I started hearing real criticisms. And I would 24 and I would go, some guys would want to have meeting with me, and then they would just straight up tell me you're not good enough. You're not good enough. And I got so mad every time I heard somebody told me you're not good enough. So I kept at it. And until the people that really care right now told me that I'm good. Until then, it was always a fight to get that compliment. Yeah.
Right. When I showed my piece, my writing to my friends and my acquaintances, then some, of course, it's good, it's good. But no, that's not true. I mean, I need more.
Right.
Like, it's not just good or bad. I need more constructive or that kind of feedback. But I started to, suspect that, no, it's not.
But yeah, for me, so it could go either way. Like, people told me I wasn't good enough. And even my parents were like, yo, you're okay. You're not good enough to do it professionally, right? So like, it was like the basketball player in me that was like competitive, that wanted to like prove them wrong. But at the same time, if it works out, then it's like you believed in yourself, it worked out. But if it goes bad, you were delusional the whole time. So, somewhat as creators, we gotta be delusional, but I mean, you just gotta bet on yourself sometimes. Yeah.
Right. So when making music, what do you want others to feel or experience when listening to your music? Has that changed since?
I think when I was younger, all I wanted to do was to sound cool, sound edgy.
Yeah.
But now I want my music to resonate with people a little more emotionally, lyrically, and melodically.
Yeah.
Rather than just trying to look cool or sound cool. Yeah.
You have changed.
Yeah.
Is there any moment that you felt that way? To make music to resonate people more?
I mean, so it's cool when people say my music's cool, but like it also feels different when I'm outside and I hear song that I worked on, it gets played and people just like sing every single words to it, and that's just a great feeling as a songwriter. Yeah,
right.
I just want more of those experiences rather than
everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
So, actually, some of your songs remind me of Maxwell. Yeah, maybe because voice or the vibe or I don't know. It was, I mean, in a good way.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Neo Soul, Maxwell, Music Soul Child, D'Angelo.
Yeah.
That's all I listened to in my high school.
Yeah.
I was really heavily influenced by it too.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I mean, I'm happy to hear that you thought of Maxwell when you made my music. Yeah.
So, do you get any influence when you make influenced by famous artists? When you make music, like
all the time, because like I said, I always feel like I'm more of a fan of music rather than creator. So I'm always listening to a whole lot of songs, and whatever that tickles me at the time, I try to incorporate it into my music. Yeah.
Then who are you into these days? I mean,
these days, I feel like it's very interesting because now we start listening to more Afrobeats music, Latin music, even like songs from like Southeast Asia. So Southeast Asia got some soul too.
Yeah,
I was surprised by it too. So like 10 years ago, it was all about like listening to American music, getting influenced by American music. Whereas now I feel like I'm more like influenced by like the UK guys, African guys, and Latin guys. Yeah, because it just sounds refreshing to hear some of those artists. Yeah,
right. And they have their own, even though it's jazz. But they have different style of jazz.
Right.
Even like a French hip hop, they have their own, thing, right?
For sure.
That's very interesting. Every time I listen to, foreign genres, right? So is there any song or artist that you could recommend
right now?
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a big artist already, but last year I was heavily into Burna Boy. He's a Nigerian
Yeah.
I believe. Nigerian artist, Afrobeats artist. Also, like she really blew up. Tyla was, she had a huge hit with Water. That song was awesome. Yeah.
You said that you became quite competitive when making music. Like I can beat all the other producers, right? But under the Black Label, you have to work together with other producers, right? Are there any pros and cons?
I mean, because we have so many producers at our label, it's always like a friendly competition as well too. It's not just like so it's very like collectively we're competing in a friendly way. I think that really helps us, to make better music. But at the end of the day, we're all family, so we're all happy when somebody finishes the song and it gets put out. Yeah,
that's cool.
Sometimes if you work by yourself, I think every creator needs some time by themselves to really come up with what they want. But at the end of the day, you need other opinions too. And I think collaboration is key to making whatever creation more not perfect, but like more relatable to other people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if I spend way too much time by myself making something, I get pigeonholed into like this one thing, and or I focus on one thing way too much, where a lot of times it's not that important. So like it's a blessing for me personally to have all these talented people around, giving me feedbacks, keeping me grounded, giving me their honest opinions. Like they would straight up tell me when something's bad, no matter how hard I worked on it, they were like, yo, that's bad. Come on.
Ooh.
And that helps. That's way better than whatever, like having a bunch of yes mans around where like, yo, that's fire. Yeah.
It feels like making a song is like making a movie, right? It's both all collaborating work, right? So like, for example, in movie, usually director considered the most important person in the process, right? On top of actors. But in music, on top of performers, who do you think is the most important person in the process?
So a lot of people ask me like, how do you write your lyrics? How do you, like, they all assume that all my lyrics come from experience, which is not completely false. But if you want to do it professionally, you just got to be able to write it at any time. And my experience is only limited. So I tell a lot of people that writing a song is just like writing a movie script. Where like you just got to imagine yourself in a certain situation and think about what you would say and just write it down like a movie script. And I think music producers and songwriters are in a lot of ways are like movie writers and movie directors. And obviously being a songwriter and producer myself, they're very important when it comes to finishing a song. And like just how like movies get finished with the right edits and the right effects, the mixing is important, mastering is important. So like it's a lot of steps that has to be done perfectly for a song to come out great. Even like the music video directors, you have to shoot it right. The concept has to be right. So in a lot of ways, making music right now is just like making a mini movie for me personally. Yeah. And most of the times you do end up with a video. So
yeah. So out of curiosity, is there any character that you created during the process, like a movie? Like, you know, there's a main character and an antagonist and all different personas in the movie, right? But like you said, you know, writing a song is like a movie, right? Making a movie. So you must have created some personas or...
So like a lot of times writing songs, especially because I write a lot of pop music and R&B music, a lot of times it's a love song.
Yeah.
And there has to be a leading lady in the song. And like a lot of times it's imaginary.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a bad girl that broke my heart. Sometimes it's just the prettiest girl in the world that I want to love. And also, in my perspective, I also sometimes have to create this like sexy but vulnerable guy.
Yeah.
Who sings about women.
Yeah.
Because he's an R&B guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm trying to portray in a lot of these photos and videos. That's why I'll be like in my stoic face and all that. Yeah. But it's usually it's like a love story.
Yeah, love story.
Yeah.
And the main character of love story.
Yeah.
Right? No, particularly I like 맨날. It's really sticky. I love the vibe.
And songs like 맨날 where it's more of a hip hop record.
Yeah.
And you gotta like create this character where he's like flashy, swaggy, blinged out, a baller, who flexes on girls.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. And what is a major difference between making songs for other artists and for yourself?
I would say it's not that much different. Plus for me, I'm lucky enough to actually like interact with the artists themselves in the studio, where a lot of writers I feel like don't get to. So I get to hear their stories and actually hear from them personally what they like, what they want to do. And it's just incorporating a lot of that with my taste. It's not that different from writing a song for myself. Because at the end of the day, as a writer, I'm just writing what sounds good to me.
Yeah, right.
It's not that different.
Then is it easier to make other artists' song than your own? Because
sometimes I do feel like it's easier because when I'm writing for other people, my goal is to just make the music as great as possible. Whereas when I write for myself, sometimes I'm like gets to my head where I'm thinking it has to sound a little different. Like it has to be edgier. Like how do I make it sound a little more different? And that sometimes just like screws things up, where I'm not focused on the right thing. Yeah.
Then, do you get any feedback from other producers? Like, you go too deep, or especially
sometimes. Because sometimes I try to make the music way too like complicated or way too easy, like just to make it sound cool. And like,
so cool. The word cool is right in the center of you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then are there any songs that you initially made for other artists, but they were too good to give away, so you decided to keep them for yourself?
I've been doing this for 7 years, so I'm thinking there must be a song like that, but not yet.
Oh,
there
not yet.
hasn't been a song like that yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Because when I write for other people, I'm just there to like make sure the artists get what they want, and whatever that comes out, I'm just happy with it. Yeah.
Oh. So how do you define your music? Because you're in the K-pop industry, but your music DNA actually came from R&B and hip-hop. So I just want to know the way you define your music and yourself as an artist.
So I mean, I would tell people that I'm an R&B artist, but I come from R&B, but I feel like right now the genre, like the boundaries of genre is so blurred out.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I would just say I'm a musician at this point. Yeah. I try to make music that resonates with people. Pop music.
Pop music.
Yeah.
Pop music. Okay. So your songs are mostly in Korean, right? Do you have a special reason for that?
So like I said earlier, when I was in America, I felt too Korean. When I'm out here, I felt to American. And at one point I started thinking maybe that could be my strength. Like I'm almost completely bilingual, and I have the American aesthetics and sounds down in my DNA.
Yeah.
But I could also express all those things in Korean as well. So I felt like that could be one of my strengths. So I tried to make, well, when I was younger, I tried to make American records that was sung in Korean. That was my goal. But now I'm just embracing it. I'm just like singing in English, Korean, whatever that works at the moment. Because like, yeah, with K-pop and other international genres crossing over everywhere, it's just, I think the language barrier has like really blurred out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe all those foreign, positively foreign energies and vibe maybe come from, right? Your musical DNA with the Korean language, the mixture.
Yeah.
I think
so
that's the power and uniqueness in it, I guess.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I would say something weird in Korean because I would say something that's an American expression, but just have it straight up translated into Korean.
Yeah.
Sometimes that sounds like sometimes good. Yeah.
Right. While I look into you, I saw a video that shows your routine. Like you play basketball,
right?
And after that, you grab a Moroccan sandwich, and then you go to the studio, right?
Yeah.
It's very simple and strict routine. Do you try to stick to the routine, to deliberately do that?
Yeah. So what you saw on that video is pretty much sums up my life at the moment.
Yeah.
I spend most of my time in studio.
Yeah.
I try to get good food and play basketball in downtime. And like I said, like Ernest Hemingway, just like repetition makes it perfect. Yeah.
Do you really think that the simple routine makes you, make music, or should I say, more productive?
I think there's pros and cons.
Yeah. Because sometimes you need some shocking experiences and
I would say you do. Yeah. So I think you need a little bit of both. Yeah. You need those moments where you get out of your routine, where you get all your inspirations from. But to capture the inspiration, you need that simplified, repetitive life to capture that moment. So I still haven't figured it out. I still have to figure it out.
You're still working on it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's the same context, but when we are young, we, tend to think and act freely as much as we can. But as we grow older, maybe because of other environmental factors or people's, opinion, we try to limit ourselves, right? And I think that for creators, it's not that good.
Right.
So how do you express yourself and try to find, and free yourself?
I feel like I'm at a special place where all my peers, all my producers, songwriters, and artists that I'm around with, they're older. Some guys are older. I'm older. But we all still kids at heart. And we get to be that way, at least at the studio. And we spend a lot of time in the studio. So that way, every day I'm in the studio, I step outside from like the real world where I have to act a certain way, but I just get to be the kid that I am in the studio, and it's okay to be that way still. So not much is different still in the studio for me 10 years ago or now. Yeah, it's like we still check out new music. I'm like, oh wow, that's dope. And that's pretty much it. That's all that matters. Yeah.
move on to our next segment, where we'll be talking about the present and future. So we're going to talk about everything about current you. And one thing I want to start with is, don't you have pressure to keep up with the latest music trend? Because you already told me that you truly enjoy.
Yeah, always. Like back when I didn't drive, my music consumption was on the subways or in the bus on the headphones. But now it's a lot of times while I'm driving. And I would just play any playlist that would show up on Spotify or Apple, any new Spotify, and they would just play music from all around the world. And it's just, I just let them play through and like mark what I like and listen to them again the next time. And yeah, it's an easy process. Yeah.
So
if I really come across or artists that I think is refreshing, I'll just look up on them at the studio and look at their videos,
you dig
check out more of
into
their music. Yeah, it's still the same.
So this is also out of my, pure curiosity. These days people are consuming music different way, right? A music, song is almost, we can say it's free, right?
Right.
So YouTube and everything. But so maybe, because of that, producers and artists are releasing their songs in not a full-length album, but a single or mini albums, right? So I just want to hear your thoughts on this. What's your take on it? Yeah.
So when I was in NYU for music business, that was a big problem.
Yeah.
At that stage, we were going from CD to streaming.
Yeah.
Spotify had just opened up in US and a lot of people were doubting it. But look at it right now. Spotify took over. Our streaming platforms took over. Yeah. And I think we just have to adapt. You can't stop the changes, so you just have to adapt to how music is being consumed. Back then, when it was CDs, I still remember if I had like a album, that was my only option on the bus. I had to listen through the whole album. I ended up learning all the words to every lyrics and every single song. But now you get to choose, and like the way music is consumed is so much different now. Like even back then, even if I liked the song on the radio, I had to find a way to get it. Either download it or like get a CD of it. But now you can just, if you like a song, you could just at the click of a hand, like you can just hear it anywhere. And the concept of album, I feel like it's gonna become more archaic as time goes. I mean, only time would tell, but the music gets consumed so fast and gets forgotten so easily. It's such I'm finding less reasons to make a whole well thought out album as much, whereas just make a good song and let
just
people
one
hear
song.
it. Yeah. But I don't know. A music fan of me, inside of me, still wants to make like a great album, like Biggie Ready to Die, well thought out conceptual album. But I see less reasons to do so now. Yeah. So because people don't buy CDs, and I mean, the music doesn't get consumed as albums no more. It's just each stream as a song. Yeah.
Right. So maybe that's why the whole forms of critics has changed already, and
and don't you realize like the song's been getting shorter too?
Right. Yeah. Maybe they try to make the perfect song for social media, right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. But I mean, there's definitely a trend. And I feel like there's no way to stop it. We just have to find a way to adapt to it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. We're just constantly evolving. Yeah. Because like, I remember when Spotify came, it was my professors would tell me like it was a disaster. Like,
really?
Some big musicians were like boycotting it, not putting their music on their platform because,
that was huge at the time.
It all worked out.
Right. We never know what will happen in the future, guys. So, what do you do when you're exhausted from making music? Because you are a studio guy, but sometimes?
So on my downtime, I just like to like work out, play basketball. I mean, I try to spend as much time as possible in the gym because that's a space where I can just clear my head out. And maybe some other time I'll just go out to a bar, grab a couple of drinks with my friends. But that's about it. Yeah.
But still simple.
Yeah.
What does basketball mean to you? I mean,
it's weird because I feel like, to me personally, basketball, it has a lot of musical elements to it. Somewhat. Because I grew up watching like Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, and like and one mixtapes. And a lot of times basketball thing had a lot of hip hop music incorporated to it.
Right.
So I think that was one of the biggest things that actually drew me to basketball in the first place. Like being very hip hop, being very cool. Yeah. And I mean, it still is. So
there's a huge culture of hip hop, I don't know how to say. Yeah. And then there's music and basketball.
I mean, you know how American rappers say, rappers want to be ballers want to be rappers. I feel like it's they're always admire each other. Yeah. I'm stuck in the middle. Yo. I like them both. Yeah.
So you do have that too, right?
Yeah.
So do you have any? You were in, right, basketball club? I don't know.
I do have a group of friends that I play basketball with.
Regularly?
Yeah, regularly. But at this point in my life, it's just great cardio. Great exercise to be in shape, you know?
It's a good cardio.
And I feel like, music is a peaceful thing, but you need that competitiveness in your life, to stay alert. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to acquire some physical achievements, like, goals and running. And right. So on top of hip hop and R&B, what is your favorite genre of music?
I'm not very knowledgeable, but I feel like I do like dance music right now. Just simple house music, house tunes, disco, and like I do have been listening to a lot of Afropop music though, because that's what like makes me feel good at the moment. I don't know why. Especially during the summer. It's too cold for Afrobeats right now. Right now. Yeah.
I always wanted to ask this question to music producer or the guys in this business that do you believe there's a correlation between weather and certain genre of music? Like, in winter, in Koreans usually listen to ballad, so-called. And in summer, maybe hip-hop or more bouncy music. So what do you think?
I do have people around me that believe strongly about that. Like music has to match the weather. I'm still like trying to find out if that's true. Because to me, a great music sounds great any time of the year. But I don't know. But I'm a huge Christmas Carol guy. When it's November until December, all I'm listening to is Christmas carols. So I guess it's true. It has to be true. And right now I'm not listening to as much Afropop right now. It's too cold. So it has to be true. Yeah, I just realized that.
What is your go-to Christmas carol? What is your favorite one?
The Christmas Song by Nat King Cole.
Nat King Cole, classic. All right. I have a unique habit, of listening to music. Like I normally listen to one specific genre of music for a month, and then when I get tired of it, I try to explore different genre of music. Then once I find one, then I settle down and listen to it for another month.
Right.
So that actually, make my music archive richer and better. So do you have that kind of listening habit or your own way of listening to music?
I think I do. I think just like you, I feel like when I find the artist or a song that's interesting, I really listen to them like just listen to the same song, same artist over and over again until I get tired. Yeah, I think I do the same thing actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I feel like these days, because a few years ago I used to pride myself in like being able to point out who's gonna blow up soon.
Oh.
But now that whole process happens so fast.
Yes.
Everything goes viral so fast. It's like I come across a video or a piece of song, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And the next day he's viral already. So everybody knows already.
Wow.
So it's crazy now. It's a lot easier to find new music now.
Wow.
But it gets spent so much faster now too.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes almost forgotten song.
Yeah.
So suddenly.
Yeah,
blue.
Yeah.
Right. And also, are there any particular style or genre of music that you want to adapt to your music?
I mean, of course, Afrobeats because I listen to it a lot, but I've been lately trying to do a lot of, I mean, it's not as up to trend, you might say, but I'm trying to use a lot of UK drill sound in my music as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Because Brooklyn drill sound to my music. Trying to make that sound a little more pop or R&B. See how that sounds. It's interesting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh God, because I do not know the process of making music, but like, do you take beat or melody from the genre and adapt to your?
That's what I try to do. Like, let's say, like I hear a drill music.
Yeah.
Let's say I listen to Central C.
Yeah, Central C.
I noticed like, oh, there are certain patterns that always happens in his music. I try to incorporate that into my beat, but add a little more chords to it maybe, or maybe sing a melody that a rapper wouldn't do and see how that sounds. And yeah.
One day I really want to see how you make music.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
If possible.
Yeah.
So this is also a tricky question. Can you imagine what it would look like making music in the future? Because, there are a lot of areas where AI actually invades, right? And create its own creation from painting to stories, right? For myself, like I sometimes use ChatGPT to, come up with some ideas or alternatives of the sentences. Then, like I said, I do not know much about, music making process, but there must be a tool or a way to, make and use AI, right? So like make this course, or can you give me some ideas or something like that?
I'm sure. I think there is. I've seen a lot of videos about it, and I've asked ChatGPT like what to write for the song, but 100% AI, it will change everything. Even like the voices. I think the wanted to be lawyer in me also thinking there's no ownership of voice at the moment, so it's gonna be a huge problem soon.
Right. Because I watched several clips, AI cover songs of famous figures, right? So wow, this is crazy. So wow.
So there are a lot of scary things that could happen with it. A lot of possibilities, a lot of scary things that might happen, but
it's a matter of how we approach to it, right?
Yeah.
So you and me, we both believe in the strength of human potential, right? So AI can't beat us.
I do believe so. I do believe at the end of the day, AI might be able to create a good sounding song, but to resonate with human emotions, you need human emotions, I feel like.
Right.
I mean, I believe so.
It's not something that AI can copy or create.
Right.
I mean,
even you can AI the voices, but you have to act out the emotions also as a performer too, I feel like.
Right.
Yeah.
You mentioned that Pharrell is your muse and the person you look up to, right? But someday or even now, you are a role model for aspiring artist or younger generation already. So do you feel pressure or
no.
have any responsibility or?
No, I never. I still don't. I don't look at myself as a role model. I'm still trying to make it.
Why? I'm already.
I'm still trying to make it. I'm just a songwriter who wants to make great music. That's it. And I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a role model to anybody.
All right. And what kind of person do you want to be in the future?
One of the biggest reasons why I look up to Pharrell is his longevity.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Right.
I wanna do what I do at the highest level for a very long time, just like Pharrell did. And like he also one more thing is like you can still tell if it's a Pharrell beat or a Pharrell influenced song, even if it's not made by him when you hear one. So I wanna have some type of character where people can tell, oh,
this must be
Vince.
Vince's.
Yeah.
Oh.
Vince's music.
Do you have in mind to expand your creativity to other fields? Like Pharrell, he's the head designer of big fashion brand. And
that too. Like he's the one I feel like who sparked my interest and a lot of other rappers' interest into fashion world.
Yeah.
I think that led to like A$AP Rocky and all those guys. And naturally, for me, looking up to Pharrell, that also led me to being more interested in other fields like that as well. So, I mean,
someday,
maybe if opportunities come, I would love to dabble here and there.
Yeah. Then, where do you see yourself in 10 years or 20 years?
Oh, not much different. I'll probably be around studio, make a song.
And grab a Moroccan sandwich.
Yeah, Moroccan sandwich.
Play basketball.
I don't know if I'll be playing basketball in 10 years. But
because your knees or?
Yeah, because my knees. I might, I don't know, play golf here and there, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you want to be remembered? By your fans or your friends? Could be your family.
It's not that complicated. I just want to be cool. I just
cool.
want to be
Still
cool.
man.
Just remember as a cool guy. Guy who made music.
What is a secret, method or keys to keep cool? Please, I want to be cool. I'm not that cool.
I mean, I don't say I'm cool, but I want to be cool.
Yeah, but at least you're trying something, right?
I mean, I looked up to cool guys. Yeah, that's what I admired growing up. I mean, this might sound a little too cliche, but just be yourself.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't try to be something that you're not,
That's the essence of.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the last segment of today. And here are rapid fire questions.
Rapid fire questions?
Yes. Can you describe yourself in one word? Maybe I can.
Okay.
Speak.
Shoot.
Okay, cool.
No.
No?
Wrong. Sexy.
Oh, hey, sexy and cool. You're greedy. Okay, sexy.
Yeah.
The one word that can describe Vince is sexy. And number 2, have you recently Googled your name?
I actually did.
When was it?
I think it was last month. I mean, I recently put out my album, so I have to look it up here and there. Yeah.
How was it?
See what people think of it. Oh, I mean, there's some nice comments. Yeah.
Cool. And where is your comfort zone, except for your home and studio?
I'll say it's my car.
Your car, because you enjoy driving, right?
Actually, that's the funny thing. I don't enjoy driving, but I spend a lot of time in my car. And that's the place where I listen to the most music, whether it's my own, what I'm working on, or other people's music. So my car is really important. Yeah. I do get really vulnerable. I feel like I sing the most in my car.
Yeah.
When I'm alone.
Yeah. I can relate to that. Yeah.
So it's a very important space.
Yeah. It's like a perfect studio or a private room, right? Really tight, but also comfort.
Yeah.
And then there's speakers around you.
You get to see things around you.
Yeah. Right. Okay, cool. So before we wrap this up, anything to plug?
Anything to plug?
Yeah.
So it's been a few months. My album, The Drive, is out now. Go check it out. I mean, there are more exciting things coming up, so stay tuned.
Yeah. And also, last words for our audience and your fans.
So, I'm Vince. It was a pleasure to be here, and thanks for hearing my stories. Hopefully it was inspiring to some of y'all, and maybe I'll see y'all again sometime next time.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah.
All right, please keep up with the good work, Vince.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so if you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and leave comments for a better episode and more valuable conversation. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And if you wish to watch the full episode, please visit Mindset by Dive Studios YouTube channel and our Mindset app. And thank you, everybody. See you again. Bye.
Peace out.